What's going on, everybody? I know it's been a long time since I did this. Long time. But I'm just getting on here to cause this is the way I like to. If I had a whole lot to say, I'd rather do it in a video or a live or something like that. Cause I said I was gonna start doing that with my shows, and instead of preaching on my shows, I was gonna do videos and stuff. I'd rather do it that way. But uh, I heard something today, and it applied to me as well. Is dealing with taking inventory, and sometimes some things we have to let go of because sometimes we can get in the habit of taking on too much and trying to do too much, or trying to move too fast, or trying to focus on everything and that we want to focus on, everything that's out there. But sometimes God only give us a little bit for a reason, and sometimes He'll give us one thing to focus on. He'll give us an assignment, even if it's not really what we want to do at that point. He'll give us an assignment to, but that assignment is really there to. I always say God don't test you. He uses things to build you and strengthen you and take you where He's trying to get you to. But the things that He have us focus on may not be where we want to be. It may not be our passion. It may not be what we want to do. But it's necessary for that season to get us where we're trying to go. Because he'll eventually take you to where you're trying to be, because He knows the desires of your heart. But right now, He may want you to focus on something. You might be in mid-season, you might be in transition, but that's all He wants you to focus on is that. Let's say you got a job or a career, or you're in a certain area in your life, or you're in a certain area in ministry that you don't necessarily, that's not necessarily your passion or where your true heart is at, but that He's using that to get you where your desire is going to be, because that situation, that season, that particular task, that particular thing that He's gotten you focused on right now is preparing you for where He's trying to get you to be. So sometimes you just have to, because if you can't handle where you are, you can't focus on what you do have, what He is giving you, you really won't be able to be prepared, or you won't be mature enough, you won't be able to handle where you actually want to be. He knows where you want to be. He knows where you're trying to go. But the whole key is to just focus on what He has in front of you. That's why it says, He is a lamp unto your feet and light unto your path. He only wants you to focus on what He has in your vision, in your eye view, what you can see, what He has in front of you. Cause like I said, I get in the habit of doing this a lot too. This applies to a lot of situations. Sometimes I want to strive for this and strive for that. He got me focusing on something I'm not necessarily passionate about. I don't necessarily want to be. I don't necessarily want to be there, but it's preparing me for where I desire to go and where I desire to be. And it's not that you're putting your desires, your passions on hold. That's not the case. You're preparing to walk into those desires. You're preparing to walk into those doors, because without this preparation, you won't be able to even you won't be able to. You can forget it. You forget walking into your dreams and pursuing the things that you really want to pursue. Um, Sometimes I try to be in a hurry to pursue certain things, to grasp certain things, to walk into certain things, and I'm not even ready for it yet. Because if I was ready for it, the door would already been open. Everything would already been prepared. I would already have it. But instead, God has me in a certain season to prepare me for where I want to go, to prepare me to walk into certain things. It requires me to have certain knowledge, wisdom, skills, and abilities that I currently don't possess. So I have to be in the season where I'm at to prepare. I have to be patient and focus on those things. It's not like I'm putting passions and stuff on hold, but I'm preparing to walk into those passions. I'm preparing to walk into that stuff. I have to start out. We can't despise small beginnings. Sometimes I've had to work other jobs that I've hated in the past. I had to work jobs that I absolutely couldn't stand, but now I find myself using everything I learned from those jobs where I am now, the position I'm in now. I find myself having to use everything I learned from those jobs that I hated. So even if you don't have the ideal job, or you're not in the ideal field, you're not in your ideal season, where you at now is preparing you for where you're going to be, for what you're trying to do, for the desires of your heart. We have to learn to focus on that stuff, because if we don't, we'll lose focus. We'll never get there. We won't make it to the promise. So that's why I have to get in the habit of trying to slow myself down. I have to get in the habit of letting certain things go because it's too early to take them on. It's too early to try to carry that stuff right now. It's certain things that I don't need to be trying to deal with or worry about right now. I need to focus on where he has me currently, and sometimes we have to take that inventory. If we're overwhelmingly stressed out, feel like we're overwhelmed or have too much. It's because we're trying to take on things that we really don't need to be taking on. We're trying to worry about things that really don't need to be worried about. If we can't balance out our life and what we're doing, we're probably taking on too much. If balancing out your life, the people in your circle, and what you're doing you're probably taking on more than what you can handle. So it's just a matter of taking inventory. You find yourself getting overwhelmed. You find yourself getting burnt out quickly or easily, very fast. You're probably taking on more than what you can handle because just like when computers or when devices like phones, you trying to do too much with it at one time, it drains the battery quicker. It's just like with us. We have to weed out certain distractions. We have to weed out certain things, certain people, even sometimes, because you have people. They might not mean no harm, but they might be distracting you from where you're trying to go. They might not saying they bad people or nothing. Y'all just walking two different paths, and where they are is not gonna help where you are or where you're going, and vice versa. So it could be people. It could be you're connected to people that you're not really intending to be connected to. It could be things that you're trying to do and trying to manage that God never even told you to manage. God never even told you to really focus on yet. It might be something you're trying to do. He showed you ahead of time. You're trying to get a head start on it, and he never told you to even deal with that. It's just it could be a lot of. This just goes for a lot of situations. Sometimes we try to do too much, try to take on too much, and he's just saying take inventory on your life, because there's supposed to be a balance between us living our life, us maintaining whatever we have, whether it be our career, whether it be our business, family, um, circles, inner circles, people that God placed in our life, that kind of stuff. And sometimes we could be holding on to people that God never placed in our life. Um, we have to be careful with that too, because those things could be potential soul tie, could be potential stress that's not needed. Not saying they're bad people, like I said. It's just people that we're not meant. It's not a kingdom connection. So just saying that's we have to take inventory on that, on things that God wants us to focus on, because he knows what we want. He knows where we're trying to go. He knows what we want to do. He knows our desires, and he's not trying to keep anything from us. If anything, he's trying to bring things to us. And if you find yourself losing people, losing things, losing stuff, sometimes he has to remove stuff. So remove what you placed in there, so he can put his stuff in there. 'Cause a lot of things we try to add ourselves, we try to do ourselves, and it's not really what he had for us, not what he ordained for us. So sometimes in order for him to slide, it's because our things are in the way. People we place in our life, they're in the way of the people he does want in our life. The things we have, the things we're trying to pursue, the things we do, is in the way of what he wants for us, which in turn are the desires of our heart. Sometimes he knows the things that we desire, even when we don't know. Sometimes he'll tell us to do something or give us something, or we didn't even know that was a true desire of ours. He knows us better than we know ourselves. So that's all I want to say, though. It's like we just have to focus on, find out what he has us focusing on in our personal life. That's anybody, that could go for anybody. Whatever God has in front of you, You just focus on that. Everything else, if it is a true desire, it'll fall in place. It'll come in that time. You just focus on what he has. That way, it'll keep you from being burnt out so quickly, or you having to recharge so fast, and all of that. Because there's always have to be balance. We can't balance. There's a problem. Now, there's I'm not saying that there won't be times where you have to sacrifice. You won't have to fast more or spend a lot of time with God some days. But I'm saying, as far as your life in general, if you're not able to balance your ministry life, your work life, career life, family and friends, and if there's no balance, there's something wrong. It means you're taking on too much. You're probably trying to do too much. It should always be a balance. It should always be a steady flow. Like I said, even if you're spending more time at work some days, but it's not an everyday thing for 4 or 5 years straight. There has to be some kind of there's something off balance, and then you're probably taking on, like I said, you're probably taking on too much. Probably trying to do way more than what God actually has you doing, trying to get a head start, and it usually ends badly. It usually doesn't work out. You normally wind up getting tired and run down and burn out long before God even gets started. So, just saying, that's all I have to say. Live for God, believe in what He say. He's gonna take you a mighty long way, and I'm trying to do more of these, but I love y'all. Peace out.